Hi everyone, I'm Che Puan Sarimah and welcome to the Care to Talk series. This Care to Talk series is an initiative under the MindCare program launched by Kiddocare. At Kiddocare, there's more than 8,000 carers. It's absolutely amazing. I'm actually sitting here today with the founder, Nadira Yusuf, who's going to talk to us about what Kiddocare is, what it provides, and how important it is for all of us, be it carers or those who need to be cared for. Let's have a chat. My goodness, it's our first time to meet each other.
Precisely, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be sitting here with you.
I wish I knew you many years ago when I needed the care that I needed, especially after my child was born. I went through a very hugely difficult time in my life back then with
dear.
postnatal situations.
Oh,
yes. But
I'm
I'm so happy that you have this Kiddocare service.
So you're ready for number 2?
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get right into it. Can you tell us a little bit about Kiddocare?
So what I do as the founder of Kiddocare,
Yes.
I want to make sure that every family in Malaysia and beyond would have the support system that you need in order for you to grow and develop your families, particularly your children. And soon enough, inshallah, we will not only be looking after children, but
Okay.
we will also be looking after our elderly folks.
No, but that's so important because obviously caring, and you've done so successful so far, Kiddocare. If you could tell us a little bit about the company and how it started and how many years it's been going on for, and I do believe you have more than 8,000 carers under you.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a lot of people,
Alhamdulillah.
Nadira.
They're just it's very overwhelming. It's very heartwarming, in fact, to know that there are many people out there, many
Yeah.
women out there who are also very concerned
Yeah.
about the caregiving, right?
Right.
Especially about children, and they're there wanting to help other women move forward, right? And that's important.
So it's
Right.
only women.
For the time being, we only allow Malaysian women to take
Okay.
care of our children. And one of the very basis of why we were established was to look at developing our talents, our local talents in the field of care.
That's so
Right?
important.
We want to make sure that care is not just deemed as a menial job. It's not something yang you ambil remeh-remeh.
Itulah.
You need skills, and if you ask me, right, it is just as important as it is for us to cultivate programming skills lah apa.
Yeah.
Because children evolve with
Betul.
time, with technology.
In a day.
You require different sets of skill set, and
Yes.
it's not just hard skill of taking care, but you need the soft skill, you need the empathy, you need the knowledge to have that kind of psychology with
Yes,
children,
yes.
and you need to be abreast with all the technological advancement,
Of
because
course.
kids are keeping up way
Lagi dari
faster than
kita
us.
sebenarnya. Yes.
So that's why it's so important that Kiddocare established our Kiddocare Academy, and that was done since day one, because in order for us to bring women on our platform and make them become caregivers to people who want to trust them with their loved ones,
Yeah,
right?
but are not quite sure, if
Yes.
they can. Yeah.
So first and foremost, we want to make sure that they must be qualified,
Okay.
right? They must be qualified Malaysian women. They have to go through very intensive training. So they go to training, psychometric assessment.
Psychometric assessment.
Yes, very important.
So what I really like about what you're saying so far is looking at the job in a very like dignified way, rather than kita tengok pekerjaan tu macam jadi pengasuh tu senang je, jaga
Siapa-siapa boleh
budak-budak je
buat.
kan. But that's not true. And we are leaving our loved ones, our children or elderly or even ourselves in the hands of another human being.
Precisely.
And if their mental health is not cared for, how are they going to take care of us?
Precisely. So to us, it's always about professionalizing our caregivers, right? So
Right.
we have to make sure that they are continuously supported, not just from a career advancement, which then we put in a whole lot of skill development programs,
Yeah.
ensuring that they have the support
The support.
ecosystem, right, from the mentoring and the coaches that we provide, and even we have counselors in-house that
Wonderful.
provides that kind of intervention, counseling if they need to, right? And this all, comes about to professionalize them and to make sure that this becomes a dignified career.
Yeah, a
It should
dignified one.
become a dignified career.
That is the key word, a dignified career, and that the perception of masyarakat kita, our society, to look at them with respect,
Yes.
basically, and then
Yes.
give them the due respect that they deserve, taking care of our loved ones.
Of
So
course.
could you tell us a little bit, Nadira, about the types of services specifically and support that Kiddocare offers to families? Perhaps there are some mothers out there or fathers or people who have elderly parents or a family that needs care. What can Kiddocare provide for them?
So right now, our core services would be the on-demand childcare services.
On demand tau.
On demand. Bila you perlu, then you panggil kita.
Maksudnya, so let's say, okay, so there's a, how do I do it? What's the
Maksudnya
beginning?
kalau maid you cuti,
Okay.
kan? You can always get on-demand care from our babysiters.
And the minimum requirement is
It's
how
only 2 hours, right? So you can get, your childcare support for 2 hours only, all the way up to like multiple days. We even have travel nannies who travel with you, and because we believe that your needs, your support needs is different from
Of
others,
course,
right?
Yeah, it's customized.
It's
almost.
customized. So we look at historical, right? How childcare services being done right now, right? Can we improve the conditions of childcare or not, right? So can we set maybe a standard where we can have less pressure on the caregiver as they go into the
like
house.
in terms of hours or expectations.
Yes, the flexibility. They can work on flexible hours. We limit the number of children that they can care for so that they can really focus on the children.
Yes.
So if they are younger babies, then they can only take care of 2 maximum. They cannot go beyond.
So how do you take care of your carers? That's something I'm quite curious about.
Oh, that's
because
a lot
carers
of
are going into somebody's house, and the mental health of a carer is very important too.
Precisely. And that is why, as much as we are a technology company, we're platform driven, we make sure that we have human support available for both carers and customers at any time during the service. Right? So for at any time, if a carer feels uncomfortable
or stressed or they can't cope,
or they feel like, I don't know what to do with this child, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's always the carer support and also the admin available to support them.
I'm really happy to hear that, Nadira, because a lot of us are worried that the carers that come into our house will not be able to do that for themselves. You have to care for yourself first. What motivated you to establish it? Was there a certain moment in your life or a turning point? There's always a reason behind an amazing story.
That turning point, right?
Yeah.
Was when my daughter thought I did not love her anymore. So she actually asked me one day, Ibu, you don't love me anymore because I repeatedly forgotten to pick her from the childcare center, right? So she was I completely forgotten that she was still at the childcare center. I was busy with my business, right? And it was 10 o'clock at night. A couple of times, mind you, right?
Okay.
And I was guilty for that. Right? And after a while, I just figured, I have to do something about this.
Yeah.
I cannot find something that suits my time.
Yeah.
I still had to work. I had a lot of other responsibilities as well.
We all, make mistakes. Everybody.
Yes.
And it's not intentional. We love our children.
Precisely.
But we need that support.
Precisely. And I thought, I love doing what I do. Right? I'm an entrepreneur. Right? I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. Right?
Okay.
But I also feel that I deserve to give, or rather my children deserve the best. And if I am not able to be there to give the best for them, I want to make sure that they have the best people who can give them,
what you would want to give them.
Correct.
And do you feel that that's something that Kiddocare has achieved?
I feel that in some ways we have helped many mothers do that, right? You want to be able to give the best to your child all the time, but sometimes you're just too tired. And we don't want to have, those episodes where you're just so tired and then you lash out at the children and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Because that happened to me.
Nobody intends to do that.
Right? That happened to me. So it's so essential for a mother or a father to have 2-4 hours break just to chill a bit.
So it's not selfish, right, Nadira? I mean, a lot of us are under the understanding that asking for help or support is like, hey, our grandparents used to be able to do it, how come you can't do it? What's your opinion on that? I mean, those expectations.
This is that narrative that I think we have to change. There is nothing wrong with getting help, right? You want to give the best to your child.
Exactly.
And if you can't be the one to give them, It's like having a tuition teacher lah.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I'm not good at maths. If you ask me to help my child, I'd be like, well, you're not going to pass then.
Yeah.
I
So
obviously need somebody to help you.
precisely. So what's wrong with having somebody who knows what they're doing, who knows exactly what your child
Yeah.
needs, because she learns about it, she's
Yeah.
educated in it.
And especially if you're a mother who's working.
Precisely.
If you're a mother who's working or someone who's dealing with mental health issues themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that, because a lot of people have like sort of a prejudice towards that. It's seen as like, oh, you need help. I didn't need help. I coped with 6 of my own. Kan?
Yes.
And and at what expense? That's the question. At what expense was that care, and what did it cost your mental health or your child's mental health? That's something that we're seeing a lot. And
because at the end of the day, the ones that's going to be affected is your child and you.
So within Kiddocare, Nadira, as we're coming towards the end of this conversation, I have so many things I would like to ask you about the ins and outs from both sides of the carer and those who are being cared for. What are some of the, how do you encourage these honest conversations? Because we live in budaya kita kan jarang bercakap pasal kesihatan mental, and kita malu nak minta bantuan kan. We are afraid, we're ashamed. So how do you encourage it within Kiddocare itself or with the parents? How do you encourage them to ask for more help?
I think we are still working towards getting our community, our ecosystem to speak, right? And I feel very strongly about this because I was in a situation where I felt so alone. I felt like the whole world was against me. Everything was on my shoulder, right? And I had to be strong on my own, and I didn't like that feeling.
Why were you alone at that time?
So it was, I think, 2 years into establishing Kiddocare when the MCO hit us, right?
Right, okay.
And it was a very, very tough time.
Yeah.
Right? So business was good as in demand,
Yeah.
right? But you know how it is with startups, right? So revenue comes in slow, profit comes in slow.
Yes.
So you have to
You gotta push
manage,
yourself.
you got to push
Yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
and things like that. And when MCO hit us, there were a couple of months that we couldn't go out and
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
because of regulation issues and whatnot. And Kiddocare is just my passion, right? I wanted to do this, right? So it was between do I make that business decision to like stop
or keep going?
Do I keep going?
Right.
But keeping that momentum, keeping Kiddocare alive was also very hard on me.
I'm sure.
Right? So, I was a single mom. I was the sole breadwinner of my family, and we had to adjust our lifestyle. I had to put in a lot of my own money to the extent that I was actually having to borrow from the alongs
And that would
just
have
to keep
affected
it aside. Of
your
course.
mental health.
Of course, right? My son went from private school into a normal school, which is okay.
Yeah.
But it was 3 weeks before PMR.
Oh my goodness.
And he took it with such grace. He took it with such grace that it broke my heart. Seeing how they sacrificed for me for this. And I think at that point of time in November, I just felt like, I had to put this very brave face on. I had to show to my team that I got this. I get this.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys.
Yeah.
We're keeping this. We're good. But we weren't.
You weren't.
We weren't.
You were keeping it inside.
I was just keeping it inside. And it was very difficult to speak to somebody who could understand and relate to you, because most of the people I tell would tell me, why do you want to keep doing this?
Yeah, why can't you just stop?
It was that, right? And you just feel so alone after that. You just retract yourself and...
Did you see a mental health professional?
No, because I didn't know how.
Right, okay.
I didn't know how, and I didn't know how to speak out. I felt like speaking will make me look very vulnerable, weak.
Yeah.
And I'm the leader of my company.
How can you show that?
How can I show that? So at that point of time in November, I was so close to taking my life, because I figured,
What do you mean? Like,
if I killed myself, like, I accident ke apa lah. I already thought of,
You were
driving my car into
you were
a tree.
thinking
I
about
was
these
thinking about
things?
that. Because I was just thinking about my family first, my staff, right? And I was counting insurance, how much I could get. And I was thinking maybe, my family could do better if I'm not alive rather than I'm alive. I felt like I was burdening them
point.
to that point. And then one day, I had an email from a customer
Mm.
who was an MCO doctor, a mother of 4 children, 2 sets of twins below the age of 4.
And she said,
Thanked us for existing because she said she was so depressed that she was considering taking her life or the life of the children. And she said, all I needed was 2 weeks of somebody coming in to take care
To
of my
help.
children, to help,
to
while
give
I
that support.
So, if we were not there, if
Who
I
knows
decided
what
to
would have
quit,
happened.
what would have happened?
So your struggles, what you went through, have helped so many people out there.
And that is why I feel, I am lucky. But other people out there may not be as lucky.
Yeah.
And really, you need to be able to speak out without feeling judged,
Yes.
without the worry of, feeling weak. Because I was in that situation.
Yeah. But you pulled through.
And I managed.
You
But
pulled through.
not so many people can do that.
No.
We
that's
need
true.
those support groups.
And even now today, as you say it, sometimes you're smiling through it. But I can see the pain that you went through in your eyes. But I do understand that Kiddocare actually has mental health professionals on the site itself and available as part of the resources.
That
right?
is why once we got on our feet again, we moved, I told myself, we have to do something about
Yeah,
this.
of course.
Because maybe not so many people were lucky as I am,
As you.
as I could move, right?
True.
And I really hope, with this platform, we're able to rally in the kind of support that we hope to give to our caregivers
Yes,
community,
of
whether
course.
they're our carers or their parents or,
Yes. And with this initiative, Care to Talk, we hope that this opens a discussion for people out there who have children, who need support, and that there's no shame in it. And the resources are there.
Yes.
Kiddocare is there. So kita jangan malu-malu lah nak
Jangan
minta
malu-malu
bantuan.
kan. If you need to speak to somebody, reach out and speak. If you feel off, right? We have this wonderful tool, right? That's called the Mind Strength.
The
Right.
mind
The
strength.
mind
What is
strength.
the mind strength?
It's actually from FWD,
Okay.
and we're working with FWD to make the Mind Strength tool available to everyone through MindCare, right? So you can really assess, your condition,
Okay.
right? Whether you need to talk to somebody,
Or not.
whether you just need 2 hours with a carer coming over.
Yes, or
and
you need a massage or something.
a massage, go
Yeah.
out for a date,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Or you need to get yourself in a program, a
True.
training,
True.
right? And we hope that this opens up the
Conversation.
conversation
And breaks the
yes.
stereotypes and prejudices.
So important.
Today we understand a little bit more now about why Kiddocare became what it is today, so successful, the support that's there for all the parents and people out there who are seeking to be cared for or looking for carers for their loved ones. Check out the MindCare website. There are so many resources there that can support your mental, emotional needs for carers or those who are going to be cared for. There are also mental health professionals available on the website. Nadira, once again, thank you so much. This was Care to Talk, and we hope that us caring to talk opens up your talk further about what you need as carers or those who are going to be cared for. Take care and talk to you again soon.